Hi guys, welcome to another new video. Today we are finally painting the Terileptil from Peter Davison, the Fifth Doctor's story, The Visitation, and I'm really looking forward to getting into this one. I have moved my camera slightly, it's now a completely different angle so I can work on this from this way here instead of behind the camera, so hopefully you can see a lot better this time what I'm doing. So let's begin by applying a dark green base coat to all this this vegetation, or whatever it is, this sort of leafy texture it has going on around it. So let's get mixing the paint and start brushing it on. And once you've coated the entire Terileptil in this dark green, which by the way is Oliver Medio by Model Colour, it will look something like this. Obviously it's been left to dry and it looks great. So now what we need to do is we need to pinpoint what colours we need to apply to this. Now the first layer of shrubbery, should we call it, is red, and then it goes yellow, red, yellow. I believe that's right. Anyway, looking at the reference in the background here. And then the face itself is an orangey fleshy colour, but the bottom lip remains green. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to paint I think I'm going to paint the red into the vegetation-y sort of area, and then I'll paint the yellow in, and then we'll work on the face last. So let's get some red and start painting. Now don't worry about being too neat and tidy with the paint, because once we start to paint in the sort of yellowy colours, we can bring it right to the edges and just refine the edges if we want to. But because this is quite a natural piece of vegetation, it's fine to be a little bit less precise with your brush. And once you've finished painting the red, it'll look something like this. Now the green areas that I've left are going to be coated in a yellowy sort of paint next, and then we'll go on to painting the orangey face, and then we'll add some washes to bring out a bit of the depth. Now if anyone wants to know what red I used, this time it was the Army Painter War Paints Dragon Red. Again, I picked these up on eBay, they're very cheap. Sometimes I buy in bulk because sometimes there's discounts, so head there if you want to pick up some of these acrylic paints. And let's get painting the next colour. And once you finish painting that yellow onto the vegetation, as I'm calling it, it will look like this. And you can see the green still coming through that yellow, which the real mask in the show had, because the latex was actually painted in a green base coat, the same way I've done with this. So it does look authentic, but we are going to add a wash to this once we've painted the face, and then we'll bring out all the raised edges with some highlights. So now I'm going to mix up like an orangey colour for the face, and let's get painting that. And once you've painted that orangey colour onto the face, it'll look something like this. And before I add the wash, I'm just adding a little bit of red to the top of the head up here, because the mask does have a little bit of red, and I'm just blotting it on and sort of fading it by dry brushing rest of the paint, so it looks something like that. Now what we'll do is we'll get a wash paint and we'll paint it all over the Terileptil just to give it a bit of depth. For this process we're using Citadel shade Agrax Earth Shade. It's a browny orangey colour and it should work a treat. Now, as I've said many times in these tutorials, when applying your washes, be very generous. And once you've coated the entire Terileptil and left it to dry, you'll have something that looks like this, which, as you can see, has just brought out all the different tones and depths and layers, whatever you want to call it, to the actual figure. And it's made it look a little bit dirty, but that's okay because we're going to highlight all the raised areas with a fresh lick of paint. But it just adds a little bit of age to the piece and makes it look like a real mask. So I've got some of this lighter pinky red paint and I'm just going to dry brush it, although it's a little bit thick at the moment, so it's not quite dry brushing the way I'd hoped. So I'm going to put a little bit more on my brush, brush it off and then give it another go. As you can see, it's sort of making the edges go a bit pinky, which is what we want. And as it wears off the brush, you can really attack. And you can see the difference it's making. And here is the finished Terileptil that I've painted to the best of my ability, and I just hope that this has possibly inspired you to have a crack at one yourself. Now, if you're seeing this video on YouTube, then these Terileptils are now available to purchase unpainted. The best way to purchase one is to contact me on Facebook, Nathan David Ward, or join the Facebook group Doctor Who Toys and Figures Discussion News and Rumours. I'm in that group, so it'll be an easier way to find me. And yeah, so when this video is up, I will be auctioning this painted Terileptil. It will be one of a kind because I don't really plan on painting anymore because it's quite a long process. It did take a lot of time, although as you're watching this, it's probably no time at all. So I won't be painting any of these. This is the only chance to get hold of this particular one, and that will be on eBay right now. When you see this video, it'll be on a 3-day auction, and happy bidding. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. It's been a real joy to do this. Hopefully I'll be able to fit in another painting video before the year's up. That's going to be something quite special. I'll keep that secret for now. But until next time, guys, take care, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.